Hello.
Hey man, how you doing?
Hey, yeah, very good. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm in North.
Hello.
Hey man, how you doing?
Hey, yeah, I'm very good. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm in northern Utah right now, and
Oh,
it is a beautifully sunny, crisp day.
nice. In your van again, right?
I am in my van again. Yeah, I'm here for. I'm
Nice.
gonna. I'm on the return to Canada, so I'll be this time next week. I'll be back home in a real bed.
Oh, really great. And then
Hmm.
like more comfort, more space, and like
Yeah, and the start of the ski season.
nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
How about yourself? How's your week been?
Yeah, it has been an interesting week. A lot of fluctuations and a lot of breakthroughs. Um,
What's that word? No.
breakthroughs.
Ah, breakthroughs. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's quite fun. And now I'm full on like networking and speaking with people and interacting with those who want to listen.
Hmm.
Um, and that's quite fun. And I do see the potential like moving upwards. And I do feel that I'm still missing some parts with
Mm.
my business and the offer and all of that stuff.
Mm.
That can actually create 5K, 10K, 20K coming in every month.
Nice. Hmm.
Um,
How is where the origin of the people you're reaching to? Typically, where have you met them from?
Many of them are Mindvalley people.
Oh,
You know Mindvalley, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, so Mindvalley people and a lot of productivity yeah, chats, like group chats, Discord productivity, and there's a couple of other Discords, communities, Facebook groups, and stuff like that. Social media interaction, and pretty randomly, they're coming from everywhere.
Awesome. What's your involvement with Mindvalley been? I take it you're part of a member of the community.
Yes. I went to Dubai, what is it now, 2 years ago, I think, 2.5 years ago. And then I went to Mindvalley U, not last year, but the year before that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm pretty local. I did the local hosting thing as well for them, but that really didn't really resonate because I was missing some connections there. And of course, like I did some courses and uh, quests from them.
Nice. This is perhaps a controversial opinion, but I've been in the space for a while, and when I'm on admissions calls across whether it's Kinetic Success or I also work as a coach for Flow Genome Project. Have you heard of the book Stealing Fire by chance?
Stealing Fire, no?
Oh, it's good. It's about flow states, and peak performance. It's yeah. I mean, sold 15 million copies or something. It's like it did really well in terms of like reframing what peak performance looks like. Um, but the anyway, I work as a coach for them as well, and um, so in chatting to people in the personal development space, this may just be an anomaly, but my sense has been people who are super high evangelists of Mindvalley oftentimes are what's the word for it? Course junkies rather than actually focused on doing the real work of
Yeah,
becoming an awakened, productive human.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I did fall into that, and I noticed myself falling into it sometimes as well.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think I really recognize that one.
Hmm.
Um, and at the same time, like it really gave me so much because now I have that confidence with actually like publicizing myself and doing webinars and all of that stuff.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
so it did really help me, but I noticed myself like falling back into like those old chats that don't really mean that much. I'm like,
doing
guys,
courses rather than doing the real work.
yeah, spend this 1 hour to actually reach out to 50 people instead of talking about how to reach out to 50 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I say, like, I do get caught into that myself as well. Yeah. Yeah, and for this meeting call, I am like, I really want to share the value upon what I had with like the productivity system in a certain way. In the ideal situation, I want to make revenue out of that one, and in such a way that I can be location and like financial independent. But I'm currently not there yet. Well, not by far, but I feel like that I'm still missing some basic things are holding me back to achieve that. Because I'm great at automation, I'm great with reaching out, I'm social, really great coach. That's every time when money is connected to that, I'm like,
yeah, I know how that feels. Yeah.
Because I really would, like, I was rethinking the whole Marcia concept and beyond connections and all of that stuff. I'm like, I don't really want to have beyond connections for the framework itself, but I want to be there for the connections with them.
Interesting. Why not the framework itself?
Because my framework for myself is currently working pretty well, and of course I can like improve upon that one. But that's not my biggest need at the moment. My biggest need is to find other people that are like, yeah, hell yes, let's do this. Let's create more. Let's check it. Let's create feedback, improvements. And the people that I'm currently seeing around me don't really have that. They are like, oh, let me do another quest. Let me do another quest. Like they're not actually putting in the work.
Yeah. But it sounded like you said there were a number of things that were still holding you back outside of the connections itself. And my sense that the framework could support with that. What are the things that you would say if you were to try and articulate them that are holding you back from fully expressing yourself in putting this creation out to the world?
I think for me it's partially like connecting with other human beings, instead of judging them. And like 2-3 weeks ago, now I started doing tantra, so that really helped. So like I require like physical connection, like actually like, hey, we're just the two of us like being together. Like that really drives me a lot. But like all of that online stuff is it's like it's useful, but it's not actually for the connections. And I need to like learn to do that physical connections.
And how does, if you don't mind me asking, how does the judging part show up?
How does it show up? Yeah, sometimes I feel like that I'm not really giving people space to make mistakes or to not do it perfectly. Like I want to have them perfectly, and whenever it's not perfect, then I like comment upon that, like this needs to change, this needs to change.
And is that in your work as a leader, and your work as a coach, and your work as a friend and partner? Where does it show up?
More as a business partner, I think. As in, you guys wanted to do this business, right? Okay, let's create that. Like, what can we improve? Like, what can we do? And I feel like that most people have that, but I'm just not seeing that, or I'm just chatting with the wrong set of people.
So is it a lack of commitment from the potential people you're working with?
Yes, I think so. And this would be then collaborators of something, because I don't really work with clients per se, but I work with people that, like, together with them, I want to build something. Because that's what I'm really good at.
Yeah, that's interesting. And because I would say part of any instance in that there is one, what is within your control to captivate and set a vision of what is possible to really make an impact for them.
Yeah.
And then also, so how much it sits with you versus how much it sits with the person. Are they ready? Are they the right person, etc.?
Yeah. Yeah, and there's also something that Gary Vee said, like a social media marketer. He said, like, the biggest thing that I've learned is that my employees don't have the same vision as I have. Like, I can't expect them to have that. That's why I'm the leader itself, because the vision itself is higher than most people around you. Otherwise, the other person would be the leader.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there is good wisdom in that. They are not you, you are not them.
Yeah. Like, I now recognize that with everyone around me. I'm like, come on, guys, let's move forward. Let's automate this thing and let's free ourselves up with some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting chat. And in general, I think it's harder than ever to get people's attention. And it's harder than ever to get people's commitment of time. It's harder than ever to get people's commitment of money.
Yeah. And I do recognize as well, like, I find it somewhat difficult when someone is leaning in, then I'm not actually responding to them anymore.
Tell me more.
That happens as well sometimes.
When they're leaning in, you're not responding to them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that does happen.
Can you give me an example?
I spoke with, like, also a coach, mindset coach, like a really, really great person, like a lady. And she didn't really control all of the automation, like leads coming in, like booking it, and all of the digital footprint and all of that stuff. I'm like, I can help. So we had a conversation, great conversation, and then the second one. And then she sent me an audio message from like 3 minutes long. And I'm like, I just noticed myself not wanting to listen to that. Because, like, I feel her, like, she's already selling packages of 6,000 euros a piece, like, I don't know, half a year or 3 months. And I noticed myself, because money is connected to that, I'm like afraid of leaning forward into that one.
In asking for her business to support her making a proposal to her on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then I feel like, okay, can I actually make that work for her? Because that's the thing, like, we don't really know the blind spots that we have ourselves.
And what would you say is your biggest fear about if you were to put yourself forward?
Well, I do, like, put myself forward, but it's still, I think, like a level of,
if you were to fully say, like, all in making a business proposal to her, if she was to accept it, what would be your biggest fear around that?
I don't know exactly, because it's not really her saying no. Like I've had that. Like I've got no questions or no answers. The answer being no. Um, and in a certain way, it's like fear of having success, and at the same time as well, if she says yes, then I need to deliver.
Mm.
Um, So that's not really a big thing because like I do the stuff that I did with her with like other people within like 2 hours.
Mm.
I charge like $4,000 for that if I want to. Like, I'm really good at what I do. Um, but it's I don't know if it's a money blockage, if it's a fear of success.
Mm.
Because what if 10K is coming in every month? Like I don't know where you are in your revenue goals and in your like financial bucket.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the journey that I want to be in very short time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that's partially why I think that like Beyond Connections isn't real the correct service for me right now. Because I feel like the limitation that I have, I need to create that locally. To actually like go out, find a nice girl and actually like connect with her. I think
Mm-hmm.
that would be more useful than actually like another course, another thing, another community.
Mm-hmm. And it could be. But if it's if you're looking for collaborators and part of it is not being able to find the right collaborators, or part of it is not knowing if you're doing enough to make an impact and get their commitment, that's exactly what Beyond Connections will help you with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now I'm like I wrote down all of the services that I like offer, like the different ones, and then calculated back to an hourly rate, which is quite fun. But now I need to optimize my website to actually get that.
Mm.
People already get massive value when they talk to me. But most
Yeah.
of the time, it's really great. I just need to like put the offer out there specifically for them and
Yeah.
like the whole client journey to make that popular.
Yeah.
And now I still feel like I'm an amateur
Mm.
in that
Mm-hmm.
way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah. I think the meditating, in fact, I'd love to send you an exercise. This is actually from the other organization I work with, Flow Genome Project, called, for leveraging subconscious processing. It's called leveraging the Zeigarnik effect. And it's just journaling exercise of writing a prompt before you go to bed. And I recommend like this example of what is holding me back from being able to fully put myself out there in a business proposal like this. Take for example the with the mindset coach, and then first you leave your journal open in the night, and then first thing in the morning you write, what am I pretending not to know? And then you just free write for 15 minutes, and it is really powerful. The degree that your mind is actually mulling and processing that in your sleep, if you create the prompt before you go to bed, and then if you can actually let go to free write, like write without even consciously processing it, I've time and time again got useful insight on important decisions or blockages just with that journaling technique.
and then you start at the beginning of the evening, like writing down the problem itself, or what do you write at the beginning?
Yeah, so you frame the problem into a question before you go to bed,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll send you a message with the specific
Oh,
steps.
yeah,
And
thank you.
first thing in the morning, you ask yourself, what am I pretending not to know on that particular question, and then just free write.
What am I pretending not to know? Hmm. Yeah, yeah, and it's going so deeply because, like, where are you raised in? Amsterdam,
New,
Australia,
New Zealand.
New Zealand. Yeah, like I've got no idea how the culture was there, and I do know that I'm like fighting against existing beliefs that are so embedded into the culture that I've grown up in. So it's
Mm.
very difficult to get out of that.
I mean, yeah, New Zealand is quite a reclusive culture. We have a big thing that's called tall poppy syndrome. The tallest poppies are the first to get cut, and the positive expression of that is our culture very much values humility, like complete opposite of the US where it's like put yourself out there, like etc. But the downside of that is no one wants to put themselves out there. You know,
Yes.
there is a culturally conditioned blockage to self-promotion.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big one. And like, what do you see? Because then you kind of know both side of that aisle.
Mm.
Like, what do you see that works like best for impact for yourself?
Mm. No, I haven't solved it yet. For example, like so my coaching, like I also have the exact same block as you. Like I haven't fully committed to my own coaching practice. I'm currently coaching for other organizations, which is good. Like I'm apprenticing, I'm learning a ton, but I also know part of it is a fear of putting myself out there. You know, so
Yeah.
this is an edge that I'm working with as well. But what in terms of like what I see of North American culture versus New Zealand culture, I the most healthy expression I see is an authenticity in putting yourself out there. So, 'cause there's people who will put themselves out there, blow their own horn in a way that's completely fake, and people can see through that straight away.
Yeah.
Another to create something and put it out there, share with the world for like from an authentic place of this is something I want to share. This is something that I truly think can help people.
Yeah.
That's the balance, you know. And the I truly think can help people is also an you know, because part of the psyche says, huh, but maybe it's not that good. Or I know it could be better and therefore I'm not willing to really get behind what I've created. You know, that's an edge for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Such a strange thing that's holding us back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm curious. Tell me about this project around the PKS system that you're working
Yeah.
on.
It's a program called Aim to Be You. So
Mm-hmm.
AIIM to be you. And that is combining the whole productivity framework with externalizing your brain in such a way that you can become the observer of the thing that you write about, and then choose upon like, is this the belief that you want to hold? Is this the action that you want to do? Is this a project that you want to do? And it is based around a concept called from Sadhguru, as in you are not your body and you're not even your mind. And with externalizing a couple of your content, you are making the separation of like you're not your thoughts and you're not your intellect. And that frees up some time to really lean into the present moment of the self, tune into the emotional state. And within that emotional state, within that vibrational state, skills such as intuition and manifestation all becomes possible.
Mm.
And like Aim to Be You is in a certain way a very practical gateway into into a spiritual journey.
Mm.
Like freeing yourself away from the Western concept of time. As in, we need to perform, we need to be busy, and we need to do. And I believe it is like really a pathway out for us as humanity and to like develop new skills.
Mm-hmm. And so tell me how the kind of Sadhguru wisdom comes into that, because I'm very familiar with like David Allen's GTD, like Tiago Forte's Power Method, like just of how valuable it is to build a second brain, in order to have more bandwidth. Tell me what you're adding, in terms of how how you're impacting the getting out of the way of yourself.
Is in comparison to David Allen and Tiago Forte?
Or what are you building on? 'Cause I imagine a lot of it is based on those frameworks, right? And then you're adding something new to it.
Yes, yeah, correct.
Yeah, tell me what you're adding to that.
What I'm adding or what I'm seeing differently in comparison to like the getting things done system, is the goal is not to be more productive, but to experience freedom.
Mm.
Like but this is David Allen as well. It's like it's not about managing your time, but it's about managing your actions. And what I've personally added as in the goal is freedom. Yeah, and because I coached quite a lot of people and like had conversation with them regarding the productivity stuff. And almost everyone they spoke with before had an idea as in you need to do more, you need to perform more. Like it's coming from a need of like you need to do in the world. And for me, it was a state of you can experience the freedom if you go through that needle of self-expression. It's not even self-expression. It is it's a research to yourself. Like, what do you currently believe? What do you think? Like, what do you desire? What do you wish? What makes you annoyed by a certain thing? And with that whole concept, I think that I have a certain level of understanding upon the world. And I like keep adding new things. But when I like have a new shift in reality, like an insight, then I write it down and then it's a part of my reality or focus. I kind of combined self-development with productivity with self-development in such a way that you can actually make stuff happen instead of the golden egg ideas in finding the new course and the new thing.
Yeah. No, I love that vision. How does that look on an operational level? What does it look like on the how you're facilitating that, or in AIM system? How does that show up?
Yeah. Well, everything is like kind of steps. So it really starts with having a brain dump first. And a brain dump is one temporary place where you like drop down all of your noise that you have inside of your brain. One moment. Don't have mijn koptelefoon op je rust. Oh ja, maar niet. Nee? Wacht. Oh, nog even. Yes. Like the brain dump itself is a temporary placeholder where you drop down all of your ideas in such a way that you don't need to remember them anymore. You can experience the present moment of the time more, like the present moment of here. So that's the first step, like learning how to use the brain dump. And then from the brain dump to integrate that into the action management system, as in you can escape the feeling of feeling busy. Like that time is the most limiting factor, and that we need to run faster to like catch up to the time. That's the second one. And then we lean into the para system, basically, the projects and area, mostly. And those are connected to the framework of Livebook. And Livebook basically says that you have like 12 different areas. You're familiar with that one?
Yeah. Just I looked into it after our first conversation.
Oh, nice. Really powerful. Like really highly recommended. So those 12 areas of Livebook, you can like integrate that into the area that Tiago Forte talks about with his para system. And from those areas, you have the underlying projects which you are working on, as in 2 or more actions that are connected to the similar, like with a specific end goal.
Mm.
But that is in very big terms, is that the action and information management. And what it will give you is time to think. Because if you are like second guessing, or like what I see with a lot of people, they want to like prove how knowledgeable they are. And it's like, for me, somewhere in the journey itself was escaping that feeling of needing to perform, like needing to show other people how smart that I was. Like losing the connection of that my intellect is my value. And that is what I see. It's even in the educational systems, as in the higher that you are educated, the smarter that you are, the more money that you get, more opportunities and all of that stuff. That's actually where something underneath all of this intellect is. I speak with a lot of just like mechanics and like people who like ride trucks, and I'm like, the knowledge that you've got, like holy smokes. Like, and he still feels so limited because he identified himself with intellect so much. So that's part of it. Then we've got something that is called the insights management. And the insight management is based on the Zettelkasten system.
The what?
Zettelkasten.
What is that?
It is a framework, like a little blue book, like how to take smart notes.
Mm-hmm.
And it talks about like creating a web of ideas, and instead of building like a topic first, like, I don't know, plumbing, and then you start researching information regarding that topic. And what the Zettelkasten system does is flipping that around, as in, what's an idea, what's the current knowledge that you currently have about, I don't know, water. Where do you know about water?
Mm.
And then connecting that to something else, like another idea. And if you've got enough nodes around you spreading out, in a certain amount of time, you'll find, hey, this idea is connected to that idea. Like, I'm going to write down a third idea that connects those two storylines. If you do that weeks, months, maybe even years, you'll find out that you've got like different belief systems, different patterns, and in a certain way you can connect them towards each other. And if you've got 2 or 3 or 4 big belief system, big like storylines inside of your brain, then you can start asking people like, hey, like, I know this storyline and I know this storyline, but it doesn't seem to fit. Like, how do you perceive that? And that makes you curious, because you can observe your intellect in a certain like external way. You're like, I've wrote on this and I've wrote on this. This is not like compatible to each other. Like, what am I missing here? And then you start researching that part. And that gives you so much clarity on the level of your thinking.
Could you type that into the chat? I've never heard of that system before.
I thought the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
How to take smart notes.
Oh, is that? I may have heard of that before, actually.
I think it is
Zonke. Holiday and Robert Greene. Oh, yeah. I haven't. Yeah, that is something I have been meaning to get more intentional about. I've heard it a few times.
Yeah, like it's really so amazing, and it's because I've like started reading quite a lot, and because I've experienced quite a lot, I could make like the connections upon like, no, like this is the exact difference between those two storylines. Like, most people just read a book and then, oh, it's okay, great book, move to the next one. But I've like devoured them.
Are you able to see like an example, like, if you don't mind, like, could you show me like notes on a book that you've written?
Not specifically notes on the book. I could share my part of my system. Um, Obsidian. And, and it should be sharing right now.
Yep, here we go.
Yeah, nice. So this is basically the Zettel custom system itself. Like it's a visual representation of the concept.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have in the middle, like most of my ideas are kind of connected. Sometimes I've like got a storyline somewhere, like a connection, that I don't really find a connection to the bigger understanding just yet.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, like this is hygiene, sleep, exercising, physical movements. Like they're not really big things.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's like, what made me really love Eskrima? Okay, it was the balance, it was the power, it was the control. Well, power and control. Oh, that's interesting because my second brain mythology is also because power and control. Like having control over your ideas, over your actions. And because of that, I can like connect that. I'm like, oh, that's why I really loved Eskrima, mixed martial arts. So this is a visual representation.
Mm-hmm.
And within like one of these nodes, you can click upon that one, and then you have some notes inside of that one.
Because this is one of the questions, because I'm in the process of moving from Roam Research to Notion, and how does I still don't understand how backlinks work in Notion, because it looks a lot more intuitive in Roam. And for context, it was this graph view was actually an innovation by Roam Research that Notion like integrated on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, and this is Obsidian, so this is a different software package.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like I use this for my insight management, but I don't really do that much about it anymore, to be honest.
Mm.
But it is really helpful for like getting to the next state.
Because this is one of my intentions. You know, there is people who are very good at retaining and communicating insights and ideas, or they can say, "And this book is about this. The key ideas are this, this, and this." You know, where most people will read a book and not be able to communicate that. And so let me share screen. I'm about to show you my how I'm using Roam Research for this. Wait. Brave tab. Yeah. Can you see this here?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a great book called The Lost Knowledge of the Imagination by Gary Lachman. And so I'll take my Kindle highlights and paste it onto this page. And so, for example, let's see what comes up on the graph view for this. So we've got specific dates of insights that I left. We've got the author, we've got the philosopher Henry Corbin, Goethe, ideal forms, Ptolemy, etc. And then, so I go through and capture these highlights, and then I'll specifically, for example, tag them. So Nietzsche's mentioned. If I go to Nietzsche, I can see that I've got information on him. I've got a quote from the book Explorers of the Infinite, from the book Sensuous, from an article by Jules Evans that also relates to Plato. So it's great for that. But what I still haven't found I haven't been able to create a habit out of like creating 3 bullet summaries of each book, or what I see as that Zettelkasten. Tell me how to pronounce this word again?
Zettelkasten.
Zettelkasten.
Yeah, it's a German word.
Zettelkasten.
Yes.
And
what
like,
I can
creating different being able to bring these into a set of ideas is a practice that I want to develop.
Yes. And what I'm currently seeing you do is like you read a book itself, and then you like distill the information within the book,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe even sometimes try to connect that with other ideas from other books.
Yeah.
And my almost advice would be with the Zettelkasten system is to skip the idea of the book itself. Like you can write, of course, like notes and all of that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but that's the capture of the information. Like you're capturing quotes that resonate with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a different column. Jim Quick mentioned that, like the capture and create method. The capture is capturing information from someone else, and the create is why did that actually resonate with you? Like what made you say, wow, this sentence? Because something deep internally resonates with that sentence. And it could be, wow, this sentence made me think about my childhood with that and that situation. And that is what you should write in that Zettelkasten system in such a way that you are becoming aware of your own subconscious behavior and your own subconscious beliefs. And I think that's the next level on top of this one.
Yeah, I mean, so that create part would be the next level, but it's not like, while it is useful, I think that's a good practice of introspection. What my key intention is to be able to distill the teaching of it and combine it with other, like to distill it into an idea that I could write a Substack article about.
Yeah. I noticed that I was able to do that based on like the capture and create system in such a way that like for me, like one of the bigger insights was like a recent LinkedIn post that I created is the difference between like what is humanity, or like what's consciousness within humanity and what's consciousness within AI. Because a lot of people like think that AI will take over. And that question kind of popped into my mind, and I was thinking internally as in, okay, how would I explain the difference? Like I know this part, I know this part, I know this part. This is also an argument, but I can like skip that away, or like I can like bust the idea itself. And what I personally do, like I talk into an AI system itself, and then I explain the difference, and then I explain how I personally see it as a result, based on my own expectations and based on my multiple experiences upon life. Because we're not in search for the truth, but we're in search for self-expression. And all of the things that I do with my webinars are like a level of self-expression. And people seem to enjoy that. Or enjoy, like find use for that. Because if you say like, Nietzsche said that and Jung said that, and the difference between those two storylines is this concept, and based on my own experiences of life, like I notice a little bit more of Jung, because like this is exactly the difference. And if you can formulate exactly that difference, then people will start seeing you as like also someone to pay attention for too.
Yeah.
Because we're not here to like memorize data, but we are here to consume data and to make new possibilities, new creations out of that one.
No, there isn't. I like that. Yeah, I think that is, for me, it's, I've been wanting to have more of a creation practice for a long time. I think that's a key intention of this winter period is to be able to, what do I need to do to protect time for creation?
Mm-hmm. What do you mean protect time?
So the problem is I wanted to do it, but life gets in the way. You know, I work certain amount of hours. I spend a lot of time outdoors, and so it I need to protect time in my schedule to actually make it happen.
Yeah. And while you are like living your life, because that's kind of the best state to be in,
Mm.
can you like create new insights while you're living your life?
Mm.
Sometimes like I'm walking outside and I just like go live into my YouTube and just talk about, I just had an amazing insight. I thought about this one, thought about that one. This is the difference, what it means for me. I just put it out there
Oh,
while I'm living.
wow. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
the trick, yeah, like the tricking is a lot of us, how to say that? Like they free up time. Like every moment of your reality is your time.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no such thing as like someone else's time.
Mm.
And the easiest or the most effective thing is to be able to express yourself quicker comparison to what you currently do.
Mm-hmm.
So if you currently really like to enhance, I don't know, send out pictures because you really love that. Okay. Do you have an Instagram account? Do you have an internet connection to send that out to that? Like most people currently have that. But it's about like reducing the bridge upon if you have an idea, how fast can you express that idea? And it could be that you're expressing that for
Mm.
yourself, to yourself, and that's it. No one else needs to know. But if you start doing that, then you can find connections in your own expression. And this is like, oh, this is the thread, the wire that's connecting all of that. And that
Mm.
wire is something that I can publicize
Mm.
or feel comfortable with publicizing.
Yeah.
And the more that you do that, that's also why the breakdown is so important. Is the more and more that you can like develop yourself into the person that you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
All of that connected with aim to be you and all of that concept.
Mm-hmm. So tell me what the 12 weeks looks like, because I am wanting to be a container to be very more intentional with my with shifting from Rome to Notion is
Yeah.
important. Um, my my main concern is I've got a very developed system already, so I'm not sure if it's compatible with this container.
Yes. And then you mean the 12 weeks that I'm offering.
Yeah.
That's the, yeah. Well, the thing is, like, we will not like integrate from the previous system into the new system. Like, we'll fully start on scratch. And while we are developing and learning the methods itself, then you can slowly integrate things from the old system to your new system.
Mm-hmm.
But slow is steady, like really slow down to speed up.
Mm.
Because yeah, how to say that properly? Because I do recognize it, and it's like it's an optimization round. So you keep using your old system, and slowly you start noticing stuff that works more efficient.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, let me skip that one and do it in a more efficient way.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't have a more efficient way, then like don't change it. I don't know if that answers your question, but
Yeah, my real question is what do you have a curriculum of what the 12 weeks looks like?
yeah, those are the like the first, the active management, the information management, and then the insight management. Those are the three main pillars.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I kind of want to limit them into the only the action management and the information management only, because the insight management is such a deep one. Like that's a 3-month package by itself. So yeah, based on that, I do have a curriculum. Yeah, but that's like properly written out. Like that is something that I'm like actually needing to do the work, which is partially as a result of me getting like what I do right now. Like I have my webinars and I talk about that for 1 full hour upon one specific thing that I feel like is the most useful thing. And I just finished my webinar, 6th webinar on the brain dump. Like I spoke a full hour on the concept of a brain dump.
Wow.
Like there are so much nuggets and insights in between. And like the feedback that I got, and they were like, this was the best one ever. But it's such an interesting storyline. But my challenge, also the money aspect, like I almost need worker bees to actually like, this is what your plan, this is what you describe, this is what you do the first chapter, the second chapter, the third chapter.
You almost need what, sorry?
Worker bees. Yeah. People who actually do the work.
Yeah.
Because I'm not that industrial. Like I don't really do one thing, the same thing all of the day, all of the time. I just get bored. Like I know the stuff. Let's move on. But that's maybe also a limiting belief.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I see people like Marcia very highly on my like level of competence skill. And she's like amazed on the level of thinking that I have. I'm like, why? I personally don't really see it. But yeah, that wasn't really answering your question.
Yeah. Because I also think it's funny, I've like the 12 areas of life book, I have like 6 areas that I've kind of created just like in Rome that I feel is more compatible with. A question I have on it, by the way, is do you have a hierarchy of areas? So for example, like what I have in Rome is 1 page as a control center for beyond connections or so. And so I feel like so this falls within my kind of work area, but it almost feels like it makes sense to have a tag for beyond connections in which different resource and or area and or projects falls within.
But first, like answer your questions. Do I have a hierarchy? Yes, I do. And I will send you the video on that specific one as well. But in very short, like the 12 areas of life, like see it as an onion, and it starts with the first layer, and then the second layer, and then the third layer, and then moving upwards to the outer world. And in the original one, they started off with health and fitness. That was the first, and then emotional, and then intellectual, if I'm not mistaken. But for me, the first one is the spiritual life, and like a little bit rewritten. Like the spiritual life kind of starts with the consciousness itself, like focus. And I do want to like share that. Let me open my Notion. because that will also answer your question regarding what like work and using the tag and stuff like that. Slowly getting on time. Has gone quickly. So everything really starts with the consciousness itself, for me, as in where do I want to focus myself upon? And then how do I want to be? Like how do I want to act in this present moment with my character? And then another layer outside of that one is my emotional layer, my vibrational state. Health and fitness, only then health and fitness comes in. And only then my intellectual life.
And so you're talking about your own prioritization of the 12 layers.
Yes. And like it's not that my consciousness is more important than my intimate relationship, but it is that my consciousness is closer to the purest version of me comparison to my intimate relationship or my intellect.
Sure.
And my character is also closer to that than my intellect.
And in terms of actions, how actions fit into that, would I be correct that you've got actions connected to all 12 of these areas?
Yeah, but not directly. I've got no idea if there's something popping up that's not being, it's not being publicized anyway. So I have my projects, and within every area, I have a couple of projects that I want to do to enhance my state. My character also has a couple of projects. My emotional state also has a couple of projects, which is also connected to a time frame. And within that, let me see a fun one. And within that project, it's not, I'll zoom it out. Yeah. Within that project, we have a couple of actions that I need to do and a couple of people that I like interact with, reach out, like clients, stuff like that. And my calendar, all of the meetings that I had regarding this project.
Because what I'm looking to build in Notion is I have actions and projects. Actions in projects, actions in areas. I want to create one dashboard that shows all the open tasks across all my projects and actions. And I want to be able to have an easy daily review where I identify what my 3 most important tasks across all those things are every day.
Let me see if I can switch that up now. What I basically do is like I work from a place of the action database itself. Like I've got like one thing, social, and this is health. I think that I also have health and fitness. So basically every starting point of the day starts with this one. Like I've got actionable musts. Like these are the actions that I actually need to do, and they are connected to a certain project. I could open the project and then see the actions and the information and the people that are connected with the project itself. But I mostly just focus on this one. Actionable must, not actionable must. Maybe waiting for.
And tell me about the database architecture of that. How is actionable musts, are these just different fields and you've set up the database to filter based on those different fields?
Yeah, I think so, if I understand it correctly. I've got one.
Those actions quickly.
Yeah, I need to go into the backbone itself. So this is one database itself, which has different columns.
So that's your actions database, right?
Yes, correct.
And there's a number of different properties then, and then there's also actionable musts, non-actionable must maybes waiting for. Is that a property as well? Are those five different fields within a property?
No, these are like different view layers.
View layers, okay.
Yeah, and they like filter upon certain like variables.
And how
Because
should we program view layers in Notion?
basically just press the plus here and then create a new one, and then you have a new layer.
Sure. And then could you also, so this is a page on Notion.
Yes.
Could you also create a brand new page with a brand new view layer of that exact same database?
Sorry, say that again. Don't think that I understood.
So that, what we just looked at, your actions database, is that the only page that you can view it? Or could you create another page with a different set of filters to view that database?
Yes, you can.
How do you do that? I haven't figured that out.
For example, let me go back into my original one. Like you see already, I've got like action, which is a portal, and I've got an action called UB, like Ultimate Brain. And what you do is if you go into, now let me say a different one. Linked. So you go to linked databases. Currently it is like translated into Dutch, but it's called linked databases. And then it's going to ask you, okay, to what database do you want to link this to? And then you go, in my case, then action management system. And here you can change the name, naam wezen, alles, so everything, all. But I could also say, to do it correctly, the table, so then you create a new database. You go here to filter. And then you say, I only want to see the area of my social life.
So show me where you did that filter.
Yeah, so here's the filter option.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see that filter option, then this row kind of appears.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got one filter on, but I want to add another filter, which is the done. Because if it's already like checked off, then I don't need to see it anymore. So these are all the events that I need to do, or all of the actions. But there are actions that someone else needs to do. So you add a new filter, as in the action holder itself is then our name. Then you only see the actions that I still need to do connected to a relevant person, and if I have done that or not just yet. And there is then so these are actually my actions that I still need to do. Mandatory is checked. Sorry. So this is the option where you view the whole database, because this itself isn't a database, but this is a viewpoint of the database, a view window. And within that, you can see this window, and then create your own filters on that one. Oh.
Cool. And then, so you mentioned you've also got a hierarchy. could you filter based on the hierarchy of those actions as well?
Well, the actions itself don't really have a hierarchy, because you either have an maybe action or must action. And the difference between that one, like a mandatory must, is if I said to you, like, I'll get back to you in a week, then that's actually like a mandatory, then it's a must. If it is something like one of my maybe actions right now is going into the sauna. Like, it could be something that I would be doing, but if I don't do it, then my reputation wouldn't be damaged. If I wouldn't show up with this conversation, my reputation would be damaged. And that's that little nuances. So there isn't even a priority within actions. So that's different comparison to the hierarchy within areas, because that's like, how purist are you in the truest version of yourself?
Sure. Cool. Yeah, that's interesting. And there was one other thing that I seem to remember us talking about around tags. That can you show me how you use tags in your system?
Yeah, very simply. I don't.
Okay.
That's basically the thing. Because like I drive everything into projects. Like I'm either working on a project or I'm not. And if I am working on a project that requires marketing, then I'll just connect that marketing piece into the project of getting 8 clients. And I don't like add a tag upon that like marketing. And that's like really focused on the on action driven itself, like the project itself. The project is the thing that you need to be working on and not just consume information and find out more data. Because you can live a very, very good life with very simple things.
So what about like for me, what I am specifically looking for is as a second brain reference information. So currently what I like about Roam is, let's say I'm having a conversation with someone and they recommend a number of articles, and I can capture them and in Roam connect them to today's date, connect them to that particular person, and connect them to that particular idea. Let's say it's about geopolitics. And let's say 6 months from now, I said, like, Tim sent me a really interesting article on geopolitics. I can search up you, I can search up geopolitics, or I can search up the date in my calendar. Can you do, does Notion allow for that node-like connection?
Yeah.
How would you do that?
What you can do is, like, you know a little bit about databases, of course, like database for one and then a second database, and you can connect those towards each other. So if you have an action, you want to connect that to a project, then you can go into the project and see all of the actions that are connected to that one, or go from the actions to the projects. But the same goes with a certain action. A certain person needs to do that, or a certain person is related to the action. Like I need to send my friend's birthday party something gift. Then I can go into my friend's name and see, okay, what kind of actions did I actually do? Did I fully completed that? Which information have I stored with her? But you can also connect that to your database of books. I personally also have a database of books. And then I have 2 links to my contact list. One of them is who wrote that, like actually the author of that person. So the author also gets into my contact list, but it's also recommended by that person. So something like you just mentioned, the stealing fire, like, great, let me search that and let me connect that to the system. It could be that, like, I've got currently still like 2 books to read, but it could be in 3 months that I'm like, oh yeah, stealing fire, oh, that was a good one. And then I can actually like reconnect that back to you because I've collected that in my system.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a possibility. You can link them to different databases multiple times,
Mm-hmm.
and that becomes
Don't
so.
you have an ideas database? So I've got like a person database. I've got an actions database. Yeah. What would an ideas database look like?
I would suggest to have. I've got like 15 minutes max, by the way. Then
Okay.
it's my.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I should. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I've got 5 minutes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Basically, you need, I think, 6 databases in total, like
I mean,
areas, projects, actions, contacts, and nodes. And I think the one that you're looking for is nodes, and then you can like write it down as a title, as in this is an idea, or the capture and the create.
so areas, projects, actions, people, notes.
Yes. So 5 of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that I forgot one. Calendar. No, but that's within action, because your calendar is also within the action management system.
Yeah. Do you have any resources on like what a notes database could look like?
Not directly. No, I haven't really crafted that one because most people aren't there yet. Because it's still fairly simple. Let me think. No, I don't think so. I don't think that I have something available.
No problem. Yeah. No, this is I definitely do want to begin the shift, or I have started the shift into Notion, but just making sure I'm building it in a way that is not going to create headaches for me in the future is important to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what I'm now trying to do, or what I'm now doing, is that I'm really looking forward to create that beta version first for 20 people. And in such a way that they are like critical thinkers and they want to give me the feedback as well on optimizing the system itself. Because it could be that I'm seeing certain things or I'm not seeing certain things that you are seeing. And then you can give that to feedback and then I can improve the template. Because I have a template, but you're like, if I would like brain dump in my WhatsApp, then I can automate like that connection. Like here's the program, like I've written that. That's great. Because we're optimizing the whole system. And yeah, that's something that I'm like still need to offer properly, but I've got 6 people already interested in that. And this would be like actual selling product.
Nice.
So I really want to put that into the market for 1,500 euros for 3 months with building that slowly. But it's really slowly, like really start at the beginning, like one topic at a time. Because I noticed that like even the brain dump is something that most people don't do just yet because there is so much resistance underneath that. And we first really need to address that part to fully see the capabilities of the future. Like, I'm thinking about ideas like Elon Musk with the chip inside of his brain. I'm preparing myself to the system, to the framework, that now AI can consume your information and that you have almost direct access with chip capabilities.
Yeah.
Like, that's the level that I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I love that. And that's part of why I'm switching from Chrome to Notion, because it's clear Notion is like better at leveraging or is more set up for leveraging AI.
Yeah. And just like the APIs of Notion is amazing, the automation. And they keep developing. Like the developers are great. They just listen to feedback and then integrate it.
Great.
So if you know some guys with Notion, let me know. I'd love to be in contact with them.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, I've been in one other circle before around implementing Notion. It was too early for it. But I definitely am, like, it's clear I need to make this move. And I like the container, but I think my needs are just too customized to join a 12-week container like that. Yeah. Mhm.
And what you could do as well is, like, I'll send you the Brindam idea and then aim to be you, like the video.
Yeah.
Because I do believe that there are some nuggets in there for you, and that you can kind of like tune into that one specifically.
Yeah.
It's like a 12-week course is actually like a big deal.
Yeah. Mhm.
But,
And if you're posting, let me know if you create new promotional materials on like Facebook or LinkedIn. I'm happy to reshare it to my network.
oh, thank you very much. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know if we're following each other already in those domains.
No, we're not. Let me find you.
Oh, really? The easiest thing, like .com/connect with me. If you go to my website itself and then connect with me, and then all of my social media are like
awesome.
collected.
Is that in the chat there?
Yeah.
Cool.
Because I decided upon, like, this is what I want to do with LinkedIn, this is what I do with Instagram, this is what I do, like, very specifically mindful, because I want to do this for another 50 years.
Yeah, I love that. Cool, man. I'll
Nice.
go ahead and add you on those.
Nice. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, I'm glad we got to have this chat.
Yeah. Like, maybe what would be a nice follow-up step? To have another conversation in 2 weeks?
Yeah. I think so with me landing, I think 2 weeks is a little bit too soon for my liking. Just to what's on my plate. What about like a month from now?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So let me take a look here, because I think what I'll do is I'll reschedule. We've got one for the 22nd of November. Let me just reschedule that. Do you know what your calendar on the second week of December looks like?
Second week on December. Oh, I'm still free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I doing on the May the 14th? What time is it where you are?
It's 8:20 in the evening.
Would like 7 p.m. your time on the Friday 13th?
Friday 13th, 7. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Cool. Let's do 7 p.m.
Stewart with a D or a T?
With the T.
With a T, okay. Ending and starting off with a T. Okay, very good.
Awesome. Yeah.
Nice. Then thank you very much for this conversation.
No, likewise. It's great to connect. I really appreciate your expertise on this.
Yeah, I really love it. Thank you for giving me the feedback and having that little coaching moment at the beginning as well.
No problem. I'll send you that resource on the X-site. I think that you'll get a lot from the unconscious.
Yes, please. Yeah, and please send me like the shared version of the Phantom as well.
Oh yeah, it'll automatically send it to you.
Oh, nice. I haven't really done that just yet. I need to do that as well. Thank you.
It's fairly good, and this is the free version. The free version is very well spec'd.
Yeah. Also, I had someone who had the paid version, and the paid is like really amazing.
Oh yeah.
It's really worth it if you do a lot of these kind of calls.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
Good. I'll prepare myself for my next call.
Awesome. Enjoy your weekend. Take care. Bye.
Have a great one. Bye-bye.